What's up, guys? So today I want to talk about scales. So you know how like you practice the shape of the scales, right? That doesn't mean you're good at it. Like, just because you practice the shape of the scale doesn't mean you know how to use the scale. The shape of the scale, if you only practice the shape of the scale, you can remember a shit ton of scales. You can remember all the scales. Guess what? That is the most useless thing you can ever do if you don't truly understand the scales. So for example, okay, I know the minor pentatonic scale, but I don't know how to use it. I don't know where the fourth is. I don't know where the third is. I don't know, I mean flat third obviously. I don't know where the fourth, I don't know where the flat third is. I don't know where the root is. How am I supposed to play? Oh, I would improvise like this. You think that sounds good? No, obviously not. Oh, but if, let's say, okay, I know the shape. I know only one pentatonic shape. I don't know all the whole scale. I only know one shape. But I know where the fourth is. I know where the flat third is. I know where the root is. Guess what? I can do this. Okay, this is the fourth. This is the root. If I bend the fourth, I get the flat fifth, which is the blue note, and I also have the third, or the flat third here, actually. Not third, flat third. So what I can do is this. And I get a bluesy lick. And then I can also utilize these intervals, and then make this. And I know where to land on the root. Because if I land here, and then slide it, or land the root and then slide here, it sounds horrible. Like, for example, if I don't know the scale, and I land here instead. Look at how horrible that sounds. Like, and oh, that sounds horrible. Do not land on the third, land on the root. Like, you can land on the third sometimes, but like, generally, if you land on the root, it sounds so much better. And why would you, this motion here, sounds horrible. Now, same thing is, a lot of people would think, okay, minor pentatonic and major pentatonic has these same exact shapes. So if I can play the minor pentatonic, that means I can play the major pentatonic. Absolutely not. You are very wrong if you think about it like that. Because I used to think of it like that. And guess what? It is not true at all. I can play the minor pentatonic. Yeah, that sounds good and all, but when I want to try to play the major pentatonic, oh, same shape, can I do the same thing? Absolutely not. If I play it the same way, I'm just going to end up playing the minor pentatonic instead. So what instead is, I have to know that the root of the major pentatonic scale, same shape, would actually be here. Oops, no. Here, this is the root. While in minor pentatonic, same shape, this would be the root. So I have to land here instead of here. Because if I end up landing here, then I would end up playing the minor pentatonic instead. So like, for example, if I say, okay, let's play the C major pentatonic, it would be like this. But if I treat this as the root, I would end up playing the A minor pentatonic instead of the C major pentatonic. Now yes, these two are the exact same scales, but instead of the root being here, the root should be here instead for a C major pentatonic. Now if I treat the root as A instead, yes, it's the same scale, but the feeling, you would get the A minor feeling rather than the C major feeling. It's like, if I, okay, so like if I say, okay, C major pentatonic, and I play it like this. Then it would actually feel more of A minor than C. That sounds like A minor pentatonic rather than C major pentatonic. So treat this as the root instead, which is the C, rather than the A, and it would sound more like major pentatonic. So this is how it would sound. instead of here. And if I play the exact same scale, but I treat this as the root instead, I treat A as the root, it would sound like this. But if I do the same scale, play the same scale, but I land here instead, it would sound like this. Now I also have to understand that this is the third, and this is the fourth. Now the fourth is not actually in the major pentatonic scale, but why not just add it in for fun? Because if I add the fourth in and I bend the fourth, I get the 5 flat, which is the blue note, and it makes it a bit bluesy, and it really looks it so like this. Also, bending the 2 and then landing on the note sounds on the root. Sorry, bending the 2 and then landing on the root actually sounds amazing on the major pentatonic. It sounds a bit country-ish. That bend sounds pretty country-ish, I would say. Like, for example, if I use it in this context. I am not actually that good at playing the major pentatonic scale yet. I'm not kidding. Like, I'm actually really bad at playing the pentatonics, the major pentatonic. I just started trying to adapt to it now, today, and I just realized how hard it is. Despite being literally the exact same shape as the minor pentatonic, it is completely different. How you play it, how you feel it, how it sounds is completely different by treating the different root. That's literally it. I treat this as the root. Feels minor, feels easy because I'm used to it. I treat this as the root. Completely changes everything. I cannot bend the same note. I cannot play the same way. I cannot land on the same note. The feeling changes completely and it becomes a whole new scale despite having the same exact shape. So that's what I want you to take away from this video, is that just because these two scales have the same exact shape doesn't mean it's played exactly the same or even similarly. Like, it's played really differently. And so what I want you to know is, just because you know the shape of the scale doesn't mean you can play the scale. Like, if you go around memorizing a shit ton of scales, doesn't mean you can play all of them. Even though no matter how fast you can pick, I don't know, whatever you want. If you practice scales a lot, you know, you go like, I don't know, I can't do it really. But if you can pick really fast and you shred the whole scale, doesn't mean you can play it if you don't know how the scale works. So yeah, just keep that in mind. When you play scales, understand the scales and know how it works. Because if you just know the shape, that's actually like completely useless. You can't really do anything other than exercise your hands. So yeah, that's it for the video. Just study your scales in terms of what they are, not just the shape. Alright? Okay, see you guys.